do that, I can't do it in 2 bits of software at the same time.
No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
What, you have it open somewhere else?
I have it in my streaming software, but if I put it in Discord, it turns off on my streaming software.
Yeah, mine doesn't allow the same.
So if I watch the YouTube, your face will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could put my Discord camera on and then record that through my streaming software, but the quality would be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you get it?
Yeah, because now I'm watching it on YouTube.
Or don't echo, because I can hear myself.
Yeah, we can hear the echo.
Oh, I stopped it.
Anyway, we're live doing a review of King and Queen of the Ring 2024 from Saudi Arabia. And
from the beautiful city of Jeddah.
Yeah, of course. The most morally non-turbulent place in the world. For sure. And our first...
I thought it was a good show.
Yeah. Our first order of business is to congratulate the new champion. That will be you. That will be you, Mr. Regan. You are the new champion.
Oh, wow.
Do you know why? Because
I got a prediction wrong.
Do you know why? It's because you predicted Nia Jax to win Queen of the Ring. That's why.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, which meant Double or Nothing was a #1 contenders match, which Callum and I will get to when we do that review. Because there was a result on that one as well. But yes, you finally won it for real. You are the actual champion.
I bet all the belts are at home.
Yes, you can be like that meme of Triple H holding all the titles, including the Divas title, the Money in the Bank, the King of the Ring, the fucking the TNA beer drinking championship.
What the hell?
The bloody Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods title with all the plates on it. But yes, well done.
Very nice.
But yes, we had a show. We had King and Queen of the Ring 2024 from Saudi Arabia. Callum, you first. What did you think of this show?
I thought this show was actually quite fun, quite good. I think every match actually was somewhat enjoyable.
Much better than what Dave Meltzer said it was.
What did he say? Because I don't know.
He gave the Nia Jax match like a 1.5 stars, which is really low.
Who listens to him?
But the reason why is because Nia Jax called out Dave Meltzer for being a prick.
Well, he is. Because
Dave Meltzer, when Roman Reigns had leukemia, tried to report personal things about it, and it was really stupid. It's like you shouldn't do that about someone's like life and death emergency health issues. But
that's just poor taste.
That's Uncle Dave for you. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I thought this show was very, very fun. I thought there was some really good stuff on it. Mainly the last 2 matches of this show. I think there's a lot of interesting, very interesting stuff to talk about there. But yeah, overall, I thought this show was pretty decent for a Saudi show.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best Saudi shows, isn't it?
It's definitely up there, I'd say. I would have to compare it with like last year's, because last year I remember being pretty decent.
To be honest, the 3 ones that Triple H... Oh, actually, no, Triple H is on 4 now, hasn't he? He's on 4 Saudi shows. They're probably the 4 best ones, to be honest. Thinking about it. I mean, maybe... Were any of the Vince ones not bad?
Not maybe the later ones compared to the early ones.
Well, because the problem, the last Vince one was that Elimination Chamber one where all the matches were like 15 minutes long.
But there was the one where Drew faced.
Oh
God!
Sorry, what was that, Callum? You glitched out.
What the one where Big E faced Drew for the WWE Championship? I can't remember what was on that card.
Or was that 2021?
Crown Jewel 2021.
Well, that would have been pandemic, wouldn't it? Or just after? Just
well,
after?
yeah, because they would have been in Saudi.
Yeah.
21 must have been just after.
Just
yeah,
after
you had
then.
Edge versus. Oh, you had Edge versus Seth in the Hell in a Cell match.
That's right. That's right. That did happen on that show.
Bro faced AJ Styles and Amos. Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. If you remember that match.
That one. That was fucking. That was
Xavier
dreadful.
Woods versus Finn Balor in the King of the Ring tournament.
Yep, that's true.
Becky Lynch against Bianca and Sasha Banks.
Okay, fair enough. That's probably the best Vince one then.
And that was the Roman Brock match.
Which didn't need that. Although I think Roman did a suicide dive in that match, or not? The over the top rope one. I remember.
I can't remember.
It was too long ago. It was like it's nearly
Hit the camera, man.
It's like nearly 3 years ago now. Oh, what you mean, like Undertaker and Sim Snooker at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crown Jewel 2021 received generally positive reviews from fans and critics alike.
Yeah, I think that is the best Vince one, and probably the only really good Vince one, because the rest of them range from mediocre to absolute dog shit. Like I think the second one and the third one and the fourth one were really, really bad. Like the pre-COVID ones specifically.
We got the lovely one with Titus sliding under the ring.
That was the first one. Yeah, that one wasn't terrible. It was okay. It was just really long. It felt like a long house show with a massive Royal Rumble at the end that was pointless. But the second one was
with Yokozuna and Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, the second one was the one with DX versus Brothers of Destruction. That was rubbish.
Oh god,
that was rubbish.
And isn't there one where Goldberg dropped Undertaker on his head?
Yeah, that's also one of the worst ones. That was 2019.
Yeah. Just some breaking news. I need to go quickly for 5 minutes to pick someone up. I'll be back in 10, 15 minutes.
All right. Well, Regan, you give your thoughts on King and Queen of the Ring 2024. Initial thoughts.
What have we had? We had...
Doesn't have to be the matches, just your overall...
I thought it was really good. Apart from the botchy finish in one of the matches, I loved the main event.
Yep.
That match with Logan, oh my goodness, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that's the first Saudi show I've seen since the Greatest Royal Rumble, so it was good. I'm glad the women get to wrestle there, considering the stuff that they have there.
Yeah, they did 3. If you count the pre-show, they did 3 women's matches on this card.
True, there was the tag match, the title match, and
the Queen match. Yep.
So that's good, considering they get.
Considering at the first 2 Saudi shows, they weren't even on it.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think it was. I remember the first Crown Jewel in 2018. In the same weekend, they did that Evolution pay-per-view, which was an all-women's show.
Because they couldn't go there.
I remember they showed an ad of that pay-per-view on screen during Crown Jewel that had women wearing non-modest clothing, and a lot of the Muslims in the crowd booed. They booed that ad.
And it's pathetic, really. They need to catch up with the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like these recent Saudi shows have had a lot less involvement from the royals than the old ones did. It just seems more like a business thing and more of a casual thing, as opposed to before when it was very political.
But it was good. The crowd was hot.
Yeah, which was nice to see, because at the last Saudi show they were quite quiet. Yeah, that unfortunately does happen sometimes, but this crowd definitely was a lot more lively than they have been in the past. Yeah, I did enjoy this show.
I wondered why there was no Prime on the ring.
I think it's because I suspect
the
it might be
paid more and they didn't want it.
I think it might be it just depends on which country they're in.
Or maybe Logan doesn't sell it in Saudi. Who knows?
Possibly.
For some reason.
Possibly. I mean, they had it in France, right?
Yeah, because you can get it in Europe. So
Yeah. It might just
political.
be it might just be limited to certain countries. I mean,
Did you see on SmackDown?
he still drank a prime bottle in the match.
Well, yeah. Did you see on SmackDown that Carmelo Hayes got smoked by LA Knight?
I did not see that.
They had LA came out of Nick's office, and then Carmelo bumped into him, and LA Knight wants Logan Paul, and then Carmelo Hayes he says something like, "Why would LA want to fight you?" Blah blah blah, and then he looks at him and he goes, "Well, I'd be fighting myself then, looking in a mirror if I'm fighting LA." Just roasted him because he got it wrong.
Wow. Was he trying to say all white dudes are the same?
Yeah, he literally. Yeah.
No, but certainly a botch. But I did enjoy this show, and I think it's the Saudi shows tend to be a bit filler, but this one had more stakes to it, with the fact that every match had something on the line, either a championship or it was a tournament final.
When we booked it, I didn't know there was gonna. We didn't know there was gonna be the title implications. So.
Yeah, that every match had something to get, like someone, you know, it's either for a championship or it's for a king or queen crown. So every match had a purpose, which definitely added something to the show. And
oh yeah, because there was the IC match as well. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, IC, Women's World, Undisputed, King and Queen, and then Women's Tag as well. I will say, interestingly, since WrestleMania, we still haven't had a show where either of the tag belts have been defended for the men. It's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, they kind of need to do something because the teams they gave it to aren't really doing much.
Well, especially SmackDown.
Well, there was a hint of maybe starting to split up a Town Down Under on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think it is time for Austin Theory to go babyface. I think it's
because Grayson Waller was yelling at the commentary team and said Austin Theory's relevant again because he has the Grayson Waller rub.
Yeah,
and then that caused him to lose.
I mean,
that made him lose.
Outside of Australia, obviously, Grayson Waller is a natural heel. You don't want to change that. But with Austin Theory, I do think he has the potential to be a good babyface if they get a good character for him. I've seen videos of him with, you know, young fans in public, and he actually comes across as a really likable guy. So I think they could pull it off, but they have to do it in the right way. You know, it's funny because when Vince was still there, he was booking Austin Theory like he was the second coming, like he was like the next top guy. And then ever since Vince left, he's been floundering. Cena. Yeah, he beat Cena at WrestleMania, but no one cares. Like no one really remembers it or cares. Number one, because he has.
I mean, it's not like Cena was full time when it happened, right?
Yeah, it didn't really do anything for Theory going forward with his character. Like nothing really changed. If anything, he got worse. And then also the match itself was really, really mediocre. So it's not like the victory was memorable. Like it was like a below average TV match. If I'm being kind to it.
I've not seen the match. I've just seen the entrance at Royal Rumble when Seth comes through the crowd with the Shield music.
Yep.
I keep seeing that entrance on Twitter. I should go watch
that is a dog shit pay-per-view, but that one match is worth it. That one match is the highlight on it. For purely for the Shield bloodline storytelling. But
everyone in the comments was like, "Oh, glad this paid off at Mania 40."
Yeah, true. But both Rumbles on that show were utter wank, because that was the one where Ronda Rousey and Brock. It was the ones where Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar won, and it felt like they were booked like within. It's like Vince McMahon just hit random on universe mode, and then they just came out, and it was really generic.
Ronda Rousey, she's a horrible person, just talking absolute bad about the company.
Although I think it was actually Shane that booked the men's Rumble, and that match was one of the worst Rumbles ever. It was genuinely ridiculous.
I saw a funny segment the other day where Brock asked Sammy to go fishing with him or hunting with him or something.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I'm vegan or I'm vegetarian.
Yeah, that was during Sami Zayn's comedic phase, and that's when it built up to when he faced Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania 38 in that
What the hell?
the Jackass match.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, and Sami Zayn got trapped in a giant mouse trap.
Because now he just keeps hating him on it.
And he got
Instagram.
body slammed by Wee Man. Yeah, it's crazy to think he went from that match to the next year he main evented night 1.
Yeah. Won
Insane.
the tag titles.
Yeah. What a great year for him. That was such an amazing arc for him to go on.
What else is there? I need to rewatch when Brock comes in with a tractor.
Oh yeah, that was Triple H's first pay-per-view after he took over.
Lifts up the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, usually last man standing matches are kind of blech, but that one was actually well done. Yeah, so I actually didn't know that the women's tag was going to be a pre-show match until I watched the show and found out.
Yeah, neither. I don't think it was aired.
It was on the Countdown show on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Who watches that? I guess unless you know about it.
Well, yeah, if it's advertised beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
The thing is that WWE is very inconsistent with that, so I never really know if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah, because they didn't say anything on the SmackDown the night before, so they must have just announced it on the day.
But one thing I can say is that Bianca and Jade have established a new tag team finisher. It's like a wheelbarrow DDT into a dropkick German suplex, which is quite a combination of moves. I kind of echo what we said last time, is that this is cool for now, but these two need to have a singles match at some point.
Yeah, give the titles to someone else.
Yeah, I don't really have any other comments on it. I mean, it was an 8-minute pre-show match.
Yeah, and they messed up Candice LeRae.
Yeah. Candice usually gets the wooden spoon a lot on the main roster. She was actually really quite good in NXT, you know, especially in some of those War Games matches. She was one of the highlights. But, you know, I guess that's the thing with the main roster, is that it's so crowded. You can't please everyone. There has to be winners and losers.
The other day saying the people on the main roster the minimum pay is $350,000 a year.
Yes, but also remember that they have to pay for their own travel and stuff like that. It's not all and insurance. True. Like they live an expensive life, so it's actually not as much as you might think. But thankfully it is that much, because it used to be a lot worse when Vince was running was running the company. You can get away with it getting paid that much and making a living if you sell merchandise, but some people aren't as fortunate in that regard.
I mean, there's that one guy who's on Raw, but he's just at home.
Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones,
good money to do nothing. Yeah, it must be that guy.
Yeah, how long's that going to last? Good
money to do nothing.
Yeah, well, I remember that JTG was on the roster for 4 years by himself without Shad, and he did fuck all.
What about Omos? Where's him?
Oh, he's brought in as like kind of like an attraction these days. Like he's kind of a part timer.
What like Great Khali?
Yeah, I think Vince used him more because Vince was more fond of Omos than Triple H's. Triple H does use Omos, but he doesn't use them as often because he's not as interested to use them. Because he's when you think about it, Omos is kind of one-dimensional. He's a big, tall guy, and that has its place in wrestling. But how much can you really do with that without it getting boring? But I think the biggest shame about it is that because MVP is lumped with Omos, he doesn't get much TV time because MVP is a great manager. I'd like to see him manage someone else and actually get stuff to do on screen. I don't know who, though.
Wow. 10 years ago, the Shield triumphed over Evolution at Payback.
Yep, you watched that with me.
I'm literally just seeing the clip here on Twitter.
The clean sweep. That was historic.
Blue
Yep, Blue Teaster.
Blue Teaster.
That was his second to last match in WWE.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. That's not what I want.
Beats up Ric Flair.
Oh dear. So, King and Queen of the Ring, as usual with these pay-per-views, the presentation lately has been a massive upgrade. Lee Fitting is doing a great job, making it feel more like a sport.
Shot.
Yeah, yep.
With
Things
Logan
like
Paul. Oh my god.
Yeah, things like showing footage of people walking to the arena, like making it actually feel like important, like there's hype to it. Showing us the location, like shots of the city, telling us what Jeddah, telling us what the temperature is. Like these are all things that just add something to the presentation that I really like.
You can do at a sports game.
Yep, and then they also have trying
to make it.
They also have the epic hype packages at the start as well. That's much appreciated.
Whoever does that voice, like, he's got that can't be computer generated because that voice is so good.
Oh yeah, like no, it's definitely it'll be a voice actor who does like ads or something. It'll be one of those.
Like, good money to be that.
I will say though,
so good.
I do miss the one from like back in the 2000s. That one was my favorite. The one that was like WWE. You remember that one?
Yeah. At like says the show as well.
Yeah. And now SmackDown presents No Way Out. It was that one.
Look Sharp presents LBW.
Balls, rakes, and shoes.
Rakes and shoes.
Yep.
No, he did not just say that.
Oh no, dude. Moving on from that one. Jesus Christ. And also they actually had a cool stage as well, which again, much appreciated. I like it when they actually do something with the stage as opposed to just leaving it blank.
Long ramp.
Yeah, and they had the roof over the ring with the screens on it. Yeah, oh yeah, that's another good point, is because it's in a stadium, they can have a long ramp, which makes it feel big. Before we get into the actual match itself...
because he had his music go for ages.
Oh yeah, his entrance was like 10 minutes. It was crazy. So obviously we are a week removed from this show, so we can, before we get into this actual match though, we can talk about the fact that Becky Lynch's WWE contract has expired as of yesterday.
Yeah, but she's not going anywhere.
I think what will happen is she'll spend some time with her family and rest.
Yeah, she'll spend some time with her husband and daughter. The both of them will just have time off.
Take some personal time, do other projects as well. Heal the body.
I have a 3-year-old daughter. I think she's 3 already.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll just have time.
It is definitely a hit to the roster, for sure. But
I was very surprised that Liv won, but it was. Yeah, no, Becky needs time off. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and also I think recently I've noticed that some people have soured a bit on Becky Lynch, so maybe having some time off will
keep calling her Becky Hogan. So
yeah, so maybe having some time off will give fans a chance to miss her, because I remember when she had a year and a half off when she got pregnant in the pandemic, and when she came back in 2021, it was a massive deal. So, sometimes that absence can make the heart grow fonder. But I think what they did by having her doing that whole shot and roll where she walks out and the camera follows her and sees her walk out of the company, it was actually a really nice way to do it. Because, obviously they probably trust her, but legally speaking, she could go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah.
Like, she is not under contract at WWE as of right now, legally speaking. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but if she changed her mind just on a whim, let's say Tony Khan offers her $50 million a year, she could say yes. She could just say yes to that and go there. I don't think she will, but if she wanted to, legally, if she wanted to, she would be allowed to.
Yeah, of course. Seth would never go anywhere.
No, because he's a Triple H, like, he's like a super loyal Triple H guy, Seth Rollins is.
Yeah, I mean,
and also in 2019 when
AEW champion
and in 2019 when AEW started, he was shit talked them anyway, so he's always been against them.
Dude, that shit merchandise that they made for that MJF guy. Oh my god, it looked like trash.
What, the wolf shirt? Yeah, it looks like it was done pretty
quickly.
It
looked like crap.
It looks awful.
They can do better for their top star.
Was complaining about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll come up with a better design in a few weeks.
And even he had to talk trash about WWE. That's all they do. They just talk trash about WWE. I wouldn't say
it's all they do. It's one of the things they do. No, it's not all they do.
Everything I see on Twitter.
Well, that's because you're funneled by the Fed stands that do nothing but hate on AEW. So that's what you're exposed to. I mean, MJF's character has always been very connected to the idea of WWE, so it makes sense to me.
He walked out cosplaying as Triple H.
Because he's a big Cody Rhodes friend, is what he is. Anyway, now that Callum's back, we can actually talk about Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. And Callum, you've been away, so you can use your voice box for a bit.
Yeah, I thought this match was okay. I'm very surprised by Liv winning. I did not see that coming at all.
I assume it was a case of like, well, if you re-sign, we'll have you retain, and if you don't, we have to have Liv win, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Because now officially it's been confirmed that Lynch's contract has expired, so she is officially a free agent as of right now, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I assume there's a handshake trust agreement, but there's no legal binding connection between her and WWE as of right now.
I think she will resign.
Yeah. After some time, though.
Because Seth's resigned, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It'd be very strange for her to leave and Seth to resign. Obviously, I know they can make their own choices.
You know who hasn't resigned, though?
Strange.
You know who hasn't resigned yet? Is Ricochet.
He's a speed champion.
Speed champion.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they had Becky. They did the WWE thing of giving someone the belt right as they're about to have their contract expire to be like, "Hey, look, we value you," and then because she didn't re-sign, they had to take it off her. That's kind of what I see here, to be honest.
I mean, you have to take it off her if she doesn't re-sign.
Otherwise, you could do a Ric Flair in 1991.
Otherwise, like that lady that went to WCW and dropped the title.
Oh yeah, Alundra Blaze. Yeah, that's right. That's the other one. But I think one of the most interesting things storyline-wise about this whole Liv Morgan thing has been Dominic Mysterio, because that's been building up over the last few weeks since Rhea has been on the shelf.
Yeah, because you keep seeing him and her like in the background in the same shot.
Mm-hmm. And he got involved in this match, and he kind of tried to make it look like he was helping Becky Lynch, but he clearly wasn't.
Well, he wanted to help her, but she didn't want to use the chair.
Yeah, but I think he was doing that so that he wasn't exposing that he was helping Liv Morgan. And he was actually
Yeah.
helping her, but tried to make it look like the opposite. If that...
Mm-hmm.
it-
That's what I think where they're going. I think it's
Yeah.
very clear that Dom has aligned himself with Liv.
Michael Cole was so mad at him. It was hilarious.
Oh, he's always
hates
mad
him.
at Dom.
Hates him.
Dom, you little asshole!
You know what's funny, Connor? I'm assuming you know of like Tegan from No Rolls Barred.
I think so.
She's blonde, one of the blonde ones. She's
Yes.
actually quite funny.
Yeah,
Very exuberant and
Yeah,
loud,
yeah.
but in a funny way.
I think I think I do know who she is. Yeah.
Not only on the Russell Talks reactions to this, was she thirsting over Randy Orton like very hard, which was
Yeah.
quite funny.
He is a
She
daddy
also said,
after all.
"Is it weird that I'm weirdly attractive to Dominic Mysterio?"
Oh.
Is what her words
Yeah,
were,
okay, that's a
which I
bit of
found
a
quite funny.
that's a bit of a red flag.
Hey, some people just like mullets and stashes, okay?
He's got the Eddie mustache coming out.
He
Yeah,
does.
he does. Yeah, he does.
He looks very much like.
He's
but
got his dad's mustache.
but I think Eddie Guerrero was like actually quite sexy though, whereas Dominic Mysterio
yeah.
is not.
Hey, you are talking about a married
Cop-
man after all.
He's copying his dad with his mustache.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that he's found someone that loves him. That's all good.
He's probably, well, I don't know. I've not met the guy, so but imagine.
No, I am being facetious after all, but I'm jaded by the character, obviously. But he's no Eddie Guerrero. You're not going to convince me of that.
No, but he's still very early in his career.
He is no Latino heat.
The role he's done these last 2 years has been nothing short of amazing. He's
Absolutely,
done really good work.
Absolutely. Since Clash at the Castle.
Do you think? What do you think the reasoning? Is it mainly just because he needs a motherly figure in his life, which is why he's now diverted to Liv?
That's a
Like,
really
legitimately.
interesting. That's an interesting way of like interpreting this story. I think.
Got mommy issues.
But that might honestly be why, because
yeah,
that might honestly be the reason why, because he feels lost without Rhea. Which eventually, when Rhea returns,
but it's kind of this dichotomy of like Dom wants a mummy figure, but these women like they want to sexualize him, which is actually quite messed up.
Yeah.
When Rhea gets back, it's a Dominic on a pole match.
Yes, that would be hilarious. But I think
Logan wants in on that match, so it's a 3-way for custody of Dom.
Yeah, true. Another custody of Dominic match. Holy shit! Imagine
20 years later,
because they've already done who's Dominic's father. Now it can be who's Dominic's mother. Hilarious. But I think Liv Morgan winning this is really nice because
yeah. Do you think she's ready though? That's the main question I have. I don't know if she's ready for it.
Well, I'd say she's more ready for it now than she was when she first won the title in Vince's era.
Sure. It always still feels like to me she's very one-dimensional in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, again, this is probably down to the fact that Rhea Ripley got injured that this is all happening.
No, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So she's definitely not an A-level champion.
Because Becky's contract expired, they had to get the belt off her. Which makes me feel like, did she need to win it in the Battle Royal? Which I think it was the Battle Royal, yeah. Not long ago. It's very strange. I don't know if this whole story has worked.
Well, storyline-wise, she didn't need to win it, but I assume, like, backstage politics-wise, that's what they would have wanted to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it's a case of Rhea Ripley got injured, they had to do something, and so they're putting it on her now. Because Becky's contract is expiring, so got to do something.
I had no idea that her contract was expiring, so it was a good swerve.
That's true, actually. If you didn't know that, it changes perspective.
Yeah,
I knew that it was. I knew it was expiring, but I expected her to re-sign before the weekend was over.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen. So
no,
interesting. But yeah, I thought it was
on Monday. She obviously hadn't re-signed, so
Yeah, I thought it was a decent match that had a purpose to it. And
Yeah,
it's
I can
I
only
think,
imagine how the live stands were and how probably insufferable they were.
oh yeah, that's true. Well,
Mm.
I think they're all a bit excited because apparently she's single now. No,
Whoopsie-doo.
she's no longer with Uncle Howdy, so that means that they are all up for the picking. They can all line up like bachelors.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like heard about this her story that she told of like how she got into actually wrestling. She was like
Worked
working
at a
at a
Hooters.
Hooters. Yeah,
Yes.
worked at Hooters.
And she
Met,
didn't.
assumingly Enzo Amore.
Enzo Amore. Yep.
Yeah, and that's how she got in.
Yep. Fuck it. I could just see the scene in my head. It's just like, hey, yo, I got connections at WWE. I can get you in there, honey. Fucking hate that guy.
Remember when like everybody was like so into Enzo Amore?
Well, because in the context of kayfabe, his character had a purpose, but as soon as you kind of realize that the real guy was just the same person, if not worse,
those two were so over.
And then
they came onto the main roster.
Well, Big Bill in AEW is cool. I've liked some of the stuff he's done, but Enzo is he's in an absolute dire lifestyle now. Funnily enough, the most successful person out of that group was actually Carmella. I mean, unless you think that what the TNA, well, not the TNA, the Impact Wrestling World Championship is more prestigious than the SmackDown Women's Championship, but that's neither here nor there.
She only won it because of James
Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Another person who's turned out to be problematic, unfortunately. Just like Enzo. I remember the stories about how Enzo got kicked off the bus by Roman Reigns. It was fucking hilarious. Because he was just being such an insufferable little twat. That the locker room leader had to just stop the bus and just put him off and be like, I don't care where you go. Just get off. And then what was it like? Enzo was trying to he was trying to give Finn Balor advice on how to pull chicks. And I'm like, Enzo, you realize this guy is like he's like a really handsome man and probably gets more respect from women than you do. Anyway. Triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed. I thought this was a nice athletic contest, and then it led to the whole Otis story near the end.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about this though was the embracing of Sami Zayn by Saudi Arabia was nice to see.
It's always great to see that.
Yeah, which shows that they've made some progress, because originally he wasn't allowed to go to Saudi Arabia because he's half Syrian. So there was a discrimination at hand under Vince, but since Night of Champions last year, he's been allowed to go.
It shows the power that what great storytelling can do when the couple of this shows ago in Saudi, they were actually like charting for him, but obviously he couldn't go.
Yeah,
wasn't allowed to. Yeah, they were chanting for him to be there. The crowd were.
Yeah, because contrary to popular belief, despite the fact that they live in a very heavily political religious country, there's a lot of very nice people in Saudi Arabia that actually are
not everyone there is a bigot. Not every single person there is a bigot.
No, not every single person there will say Sami Zayn can't come to my country because of the country his father was born in that he didn't choose, which is just absolute bullshit. And if you believe it, then you need to really look in the mirror, because that's completely out of his control. But regardless, they're making the right steps, and yeah, we got this match. As I said, what I kind of had to say. Regan, what were your thoughts on this triple threat?
I can't remember much of it, but it was a very good match. I
Mm.
mean, Chad Gable is,
Yeah.
well, all three of them. The Aussie's good. Boy, he's very good.
You're right about Chad Gable athletically, though. He's one of the best pound-for-pound athletes in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. They did the whole "you suck" thing to him as he made his entrance.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he really is like Kurt Angle, though, isn't he? When you think about it, he has a lot of similarities.
So many parallels. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully Otis will turn soon, and then I don't know, something will happen there. No, it was a good match. Sami Zayn.
I mean,
not too keen on him, but I mean, it was a great match.
When you think about it, I think this match was like another chapter in this story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was. Because they're going to save the one-on-one match for later down the line.
Yeah, I could see this feud
because Sammy and Chad have already had a one-on-one match.
They could have another one.
Yeah, but they're going to do it on pay-per-view. They'll have a proper one on pay-per-view.
They'll probably do another one on pay-per-view, and then probably another one after that with a stipulation.
No, it's been good every week. Chad and his people and the IC title. And
we haven't.
Otis
I'm just thinking. We haven't had a Hell in a Cell match since Edge versus Finn Balor, have we?
I don't think so. No.
Hmm.
Because obviously it's not pay-per-view anymore.
Do you think if they make all the right steps that this feud could be worthy of a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam?
I don't know if I don't think that really fits the sort of style that they've been wrestling.
Right.
Because it's all about mat work. It's all about work rate. I think maybe an Iron Man match I think would be better suited.
That's absolutely true. An Iron Man match would be the right choice.
Yeah, it's because this isn't a feud based on like blood feud of like brutality. This is about work rate, like work in the ring, mat work, stamina, all that. So an Iron Man match I think is actually way more suited to this kind of match between them than Hell in a Cell.
You're damn right you are. I think you've got it right on the money.
The only weapon that's been used was when Chad tried to whip Otis with his belt on Raw.
That's very true.
Iron Man match at SummerSlam would go very, very hard.
Do you think if the Judgment Day were to split up, that Finn Balor versus Damian Priest would be a good Hell in a Cell match?
Say again?
The Demon.
Well, I'm saying if the Judgment Day were to split, do you think Finn Balor versus Damian Priest would be a good Hell in a Cell match?
They need to build the feud up to make it justified.
Right.
Which they could do, but they have to actually do it.
Yeah. I guess I'm just kind of...
I really don't know where the world title is going to go in the next couple of months.
Hopefully on Drew McIntyre.
Well,
that's the thing. I don't know if he is winning. I don't think he's winning. I think Punk's going to ruin it for him.
Punk's going to interfere, and then Gunther's going to win it.
Last time.
Yeah, it's true. It could be Damian Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Potentially. Because I don't think... I guess
Punk
Triple H... I think Triple H sees...
that'd be good.
I think Triple H sees the value in Damian Priest and doesn't want him to be remembered as a transitional champion. But we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we're getting carried away. The IC match. So yeah, again, as I said, this feels like just like another chapter in the story. You have more dissension between Otis and Chad, and Bronson Reed added a bit of muscle to the match, which gave him more of an impact. They did the double German suplex like from WrestleMania 22 with Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio, but they did it with even bigger man involved with Bronson Reed. Nice to see that actually
outcome, a good match.
It's nice to see that the Andre the Giant winner has actually got a pay-per-view match in the months after winning it.
But it's crazy. That's 14 months since Chad Gable had a match on PLE.
On PLE, yeah.
He's just so good.
He really is. He's awesome. His matches with Gunther were top class. Right, so after that, I noticed that well, not noticed, I watched before each of the Queen and King matches, they had Bad News Barrett do a video package hyping up each match. I thought this was quite cool, actually.
I thought it was good. It was nice to hear Wade since he wasn't there.
Yeah, but also we haven't had the Bad News character in like 9 years, really.
No.
So it was a nice little cameo, I guess, from a previous King of the Ring winner. Unfortunately, Wade Barrett was one of the worst King of the Ring winners because they had him like losing in 90 seconds to R-Truth right after he won it, which was just a travesty. But we had Nia Jax versus the recent NXT call-up, former NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria. I'd probably agree with that. This was the least good match on the card, but I wouldn't say it was as bad as Dave Meltzer says it is. I think it was actually all right. Maybe because there wasn't as much crowd enthusiasm that might have affected it slightly. But there was a story told in this, I think. They definitely did the whole David versus Goliath aspect.
Yeah.
And at multiple points, they tried to make you believe that Lyra had a chance, but ultimately Nia Jax won. I think my favorite thing about this match actually was the presentation of the entrances. I thought they did a really good job of making both of them look like stars. Which, especially with Lyra, the fact that you have an NXT call-up recent, that is what you want to be doing, is you want to be establishing that this person means something and is a unique presence. Yeah, Callum, what were your thoughts on this one?
I thought this is a David versus Goliath match. I think it was relatively fine. I think this is definitely this run that Nia's had is the best she's been, easily, because she's actually taking bumps at times. And I think the highlight of this match for me was the finish. I think it was actually a really creative way of doing the bonsai drop. What's it called again? It's called bonsai drop.
The
right?
Annihilator.
Yeah.
Annihilator.
Yeah. They don't want to call it a bonsai drop because that's Yokozuna's move.
True. Yeah.
And she's not a sumo wrestler. And she's not Japanese.
She's not Japanese.
Even though Yokozuna's also not Japanese either.
I thought this was one of the most creative ways to do it. Having her go for a powerbomb from the top of the apron. No, top rope. But slipping and then she gets fall on, and Nia lands on top of it. Very brutally, I might add.
Yeah, Nia absolutely crushed her. Brutal. Absolutely crushed her. It was menacing. And she even did the Yokozuna, like, folding the arms after as well, on the pin.
And she must be related to him somewhere, probably.
Well, not by, like, blood, but Nia Jax is related to Dwayne Johnson, and Dwayne Johnson has a connection to the Anoa'i family, which Yokozuna is part of. So technically she's in the bloodline by a few connections, but it's very far on the tree. But if you go to that, back at the press conference that The Rock did where he showed the family tree of the bloodline, she is on it. But, like, she's not really on it by blood, to be honest. She's on it by both a blood pact and also marriage. From one of her parents, I think.
I thought the finish was very creative and really well done, very brutal. Don't have much to say else.
I thought Nia just dropped on it. I didn't think Lyra slipped.
Well, it was a purposeful slip.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
I
didn't think she slipped. I thought Nia just dropped.
Well, she backed her body backwards enough for Nia to then drop, which would then squash her and pin her, which I thought was very well done. It was
good though. It was a good finish. It was a good match.
Yeah. So what Callum means is that the force of Nia's body caused her to slip off her legs. That's what he means to say.
I thought you meant like she slipped like accident, and
No.
then
No,
right.
no, because the usual bonsai drop is the person is already on the floor and you just come crashing
Yeah,
down
no, I
onto
know.
them. Whereas this
know.
one was a bonsai drop from a standing person all the way down. And then of course they
I love
had
it when she.
when she does what?
Sorry, when she bloody falls on the apron and makes that face
Oh yeah,
on the outside of the
Yeah.
apron.
my
She ripped her
hole.
hole.
That's the profile picture of our group in Discord.
The noise that she makes when she hits the apron is just such a Savannah noise.
Yeah.
And when she's running to hit her when she's running to hit her in the corner and she's like, ah,
Yeah.
it's like Savannah.
Yes. Yes. Father Paul came out to give her a crown. And I'm not sure if the crown was quite big enough for the amount of hair she has on her head. It looked like the crown looked really small.
They must have made it bigger because she had it on SmackDown and it seemed to fit better.
I am not a big Nia Jax fan, but I think 2024 has been her best run in WWE by far. I think they've actually found a way to use her that has been of purpose. Because a lot of the time under Vince, she just wasn't. Just
glad she doesn't have that bloody annoying song anymore.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same song. They've just remixed it.
Well, at least they didn't say she's not like most girls.
They've added the Def Rebel snare drum to it, like they do with every song.
Def Rebel, get rid of them.
Yeah, fuck Def Rebel. I mean, they have Def Rebel's on a few good ones, but most of it's just all the same.
So, do you think she'll beat Bayley at SummerSlam?
Oh,
I think so.
I don't know.
I just don't see anyone beating her. She's just too big.
Well, you sound like I mean, you sound like someone who thinks wrestling is real, so I can't blame you for that.
Well, yeah, I know. I guess we'll see come August. It's August, right? Or is it July?
Bayley has beaten Nia Jax before. In NXT, actually. NXT TakeOver London. Bayley beat Nia Jax by submission. With a guillotine choke. That was 8.5 years ago.
Crazy.
But yeah, this Queen, I feel like even though she has been champion before, like at WrestleMania, I think honestly this Queen of the Ring might genuinely be the highlight of her career. Looking back when she's said and done, because I think this time around it actually feels like there's been some decent stuff going into it.
Yeah, I mean she had the match at the Chamber, which was good.
Yeah. All of the stuff they did, there was some stuff they did when she was babyface with Alexa Bliss in that feud that had some level of interest to it, but I just think that this recent run has been better than even that. Because I think in ring she's not as exposed as she used to be. She seems to have much more of a consistent idea of what she's doing in the ring, which is better than what it used to be. She used to be quite sloppy and really disorganized in a lot of her matches. But as you saw, Regan, in Perth at Elimination Chamber, Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley actually had a really good main event. For her standard.
That was a great main event.
Yeah. So hats off to her for all the improving she's done. She got released.
Hate on her, but she's better. So
she got released, during that sort of COVID period, I guess it was, maybe just after it. And people said that she was washed and done. It seemed like she was, but she's done the work to get things right, and I think it's been good to see that. You always want that out of someone, to really find themselves. So next up we had the men's King of the Ring match with the Ring General Gunther versus Randy Orton, missed a 10-minute entrance, play his song at least twice
Jesus
over.
Christ, his entrance
Yeah.
is long.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
He milked the absolute shit out of that entrance.
Yep, it got to the part where the song finished and you just heard it loop again.
I will say there is something fitting about the fact that you have Gunther who doesn't muck around, he doesn't waste any time, and then you have Randy Orton who wastes all the time.
Yep, and he just kept staring at him and trying to...
But I think I will say, as self-indulgent as it was, I do think there is something nice about seeing Randy Orton in the twilight of his career really enjoying every second of it. He feels like
he deserves it.
He feels like after coming back from that back surgery, he's had a second lease on his career. And you can tell he just wants to enjoy it as much as possible until it's over. And he says he probably will retire when he's 50, which is not too far away.
3 years left.
2.5. Well, I think he's 44 or 45.
Oh shit! I thought he was older than that.
No, you're thinking of John Cena. He's like 47.
Oh, I miss Johnny Boy.
Randy Orton was really young when he started. He debuted when he was like 22 years old.
That's right, because he was the youngest world champion.
Yeah, at 24, and he was not ready for that.
Was that when?
No, that was just before it. I mean, yeah, it happened to Randy. I thought you were talking about the Batista one, but yes, that is what you're talking about. It happened, I think, the night after, and then he lost the belt to Triple. He lost the belt to Triple H like a month after winning it.
Oh God! Of course he did. Golden Shovel came out.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until 3 years later that he won it and actually kept it for a while and felt like a true main eventer. By 2007, he was actually ready for it. But yes. Yeah, Callum, what were your thoughts on Randy Orton versus Gunther?
Thought this match was fucking great. This match ruled.
Oh, before you talk about the details, before I forget, I just want to say I loved when Randy Orton looked at the crown and stared at it in his entrance. That was awesome. With delicious intent. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, this match ruled. Randy was great. His selling was insanely good, as it has been since he's returned. And Gunther was also great. I thought they actually matched really well, and the story they told here was like insanely well done.
Gunther's great. Randy's great. You're two old school guys just going in there and telling a really good story, building it up over time, and it was the only real hiccup, I guess, if you could have one, was the pin at the end. It made the referee look stupid.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yeah,
one shoulder was up.
Yeah, you could have played it as it was like, Randy Orton didn't get actually beaten, but the problem with this is that the referee was looking right at it. That's the issue with it. So it made the referee look stupid.
There's still a chance they could play up to it at some point, maybe, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. But apart from that finish, I agree. This was a very, very strong match. I enjoyed
insanely good match.
I enjoyed the entire thing start to finish. It was a real slow burn, but they took their time and they really told a story with it, and they made everything count. And that's what I love. I think also because they took their time, and this is something that Randy Orton's talked about before in his psychology, is that because he does this, it allows the cameramen to actually get right in and make the most out of the emotional moments in the match and actually capture things properly, which is exactly what happened. And I loved the looks of frustration these two guys were giving each other when they couldn't get the upper hand. It was like a real good ego battle between them. And yeah, it was two big, tall, beefy men just whacking each other and grappling each other, and it was awesome. Yeah.
Randy's chest was messed up.
Oh yeah, it was like sandwich meat.
His chest was buggered.
Yeah,
Regan, he's a good seller. His knee. I'm like, oh god, he's injured him.
Randy Orton has always been an exceptional seller throughout his whole career. He's always been like this. It's something that you don't. It's something where like you may not appreciate it too much when you're seeing it, but it's something that you will miss if it's not there. It's that level of continuity.
So good. I mean, he's been doing it for forever.
Yeah, he can wrestle like in his sleep. He just gets it. And with age, he has more maturity and more gravitas, and he's also got like that cheeky sense of humor as well, which just adds in a whole another layer. But yeah, Regan, did you like Randy Orton versus Gunther?
Oh yeah, what a great match.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been nice for Randy to win, just so he could add it to his list of things. But I mean, I guess he obviously doesn't need it. But no, what a good match.
And also, I think
all the knee targeting and all the slow burn.
It was very in contrast to a lot of matches that you see today as well, which made it feel different. It stood out.
And you forget how tall Randy Orton is.
Yeah, he's like
until
6
you
foot.
see him with someone who's the same height as him.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", and that referee is absolutely tiny compared to these two behemoths.
God, his chest would have been hurting after that. My goodness.
Yeah.
Those chops. No, I thought it was a good match. Randy always does well.
Yeah,
I think Gunther. And I've not seen him for long, but his matches have been fun, been good.
Yeah, he's Gunther makes wrestling feel like a sport, and that's, I think, a really interesting detail.
And I love when Ludwig Kaiser announced him because he can say it properly since he's European.
That's right. Yeah, I guarantee when they go to when it's Bash in Berlin, they'll do the full German entrance.
Just the way he pronounces it is just. Oh.
Yep. Gunther. He makes you feel like an important person from a land far away is coming to visit you for something very serious. The only thing with Gunther is I wish that they didn't change his theme. I miss his original theme, the symphony. They still have the intro at the start, but when he used to come out with that full symphony when he was UK champion, and like he would just gracefully come into the ring with his cloak on, and it was just like it was something like it was completely different to everything else in wrestling. It was so unique.
What a transition that guy's had. My goodness.
Yeah, I know, and he's also like
what a glow up.
Yeah, really. He looks so different. Like it's.
So he deserves everything he's got after doing that.
Yeah, he's had to completely change his lifestyle. You know,
'cause that wouldn't have been easy.
He's completely changed his lifestyle and like really worked hard to get to this point. And whilst he's not as hard hitting and as violent as he used to be when he was Walter, he has a different kind of brutality now. It's more like sharp. He's more of a sharp wrestler these days, and so he's slightly adjusted his style to suit his much slimmer physique since he's made the transition, but it still works the same way. But yeah, I would be keen to see these two have another match at some point, to be honest. I think they have really good chemistry.
They're on the different brands, unfortunately.
That's true. And of course, Father Paul Levesque came out to give Gunther his big crown. Yeah. I am so happy that they've brought back the stipulation that if you win this tournament, you get a world title match at SummerSlam. It's like
because that only happened once. They said.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar in 2002.
When Brock won it,
and he beat The Rock.
Was that when he F5'd the Shark?
It was back in those. Yeah, it was back then. I remember
he F5'd the Shark at the beach.
And obviously not a real shark, because a real shark would like crush him with all that weight. Even with that strength.
It was real.
It was a hollow shark. Come on. But yeah, Gunther, and yeah. So what this does is it makes.
There's no point winning it if you're not going to get anything from it, really.
What this does basically is it makes it like the Royal Rumble match of the summer, which is really nice.
Well, it's good. It's like you don't have to just worry about winning the Money in the Bank as well.
That's true. Yeah, there's Money in the
Like,
Bank.
it's something to get a title shot.
Yep. More avenues to get main event matches. And it kind of, the good thing about stuff like the Royal Rumble match and the King of the Ring now as it's stipulated and the Money in the Bank briefcase, obviously it doesn't always work, but it puts pressure on the company to elevate somebody. And I think that is needed. But yeah, Byron Saxton came out and Gunther did a promo at the end of his match, which was nice to see.
He never wore the crown as well, which I think is very
Yes,
silly to him.
yes. He's an old school guy.
Yeah, I saw something.
He's an old school
saying
guy.
that as well.
He didn't put it on his head, he held it in his hands, which is a different way of
Yeah,
treating
because
it.
he thinks it's like a title, not a gimmicky crown.
You should call him. He's the king of the sacred ring.
Yeah, like the Ring is wearing the crown and he's the one holding it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Nia,
General.
with Nia Jax, it's more like, yeah, Slay Queen.
Yuck. Say that. God, it's such a Savannah thing to say.
I know, but that isn't that why it works for us though, because we can relate to it. We can relate to it because we know someone that's like Nia Jax.
God. Tea. Wouldn't want Nia running after you or Savannah.
Well, the thing is, Nia Jax could actually catch you, and you'd be fucking scared because it's.
And then you wouldn't get in trouble for her falling over.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if that muscular Samoan lady comes and hits you, you're gonna be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, you're gonna be the one crying and falling over.
Exactly. You're gonna be the one lying on the bench with scuffed knees.
To teach it to her.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, Lord.
Which is not how you want to be remembered. Anyway, with that said, Triple H made an announcement with Caleb Braxton. Again, another example of height being extremely different between two people on this show.
Oh, yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah, Triple H announced that Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest will be facing each other at Clash at the Castle.
Yes.
Yep. I expect CM Punk
come out.
I expect CM Punk to get involved in this one.
Good heat.
Oh yeah, he's going to be the biggest heel in Scotland.
Yeah, the Scots will hate him.
Also, technically it's in a completely different part of the country, but I guarantee there'll be people that were at AEW All In that will also go to this show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and they remember what happened at that show.
Yeah.
Oh, what, the Jack Perry stuff?
Yeah, and Jack Perry stuff. The Samoa Joe match as well was there. Some people were booing Punk in his last run on Collision because he had heat. He had heat for that Young Bucks fight that he had in 2022. I remember, actually, I think the biggest boos he got was Forbidden Door when he had that Kojima match. That crowd absolutely destroyed him in Canada. Holy shit. They hated CM Punk. But it was so much fun, though, because when CM Punk gets booed, he just enjoys it. And he did, like, the Hulk Hogan air thing to the crowd. And he'll probably do the same thing at Clash at the Castle. But yeah, you just know that Drew McIntyre is going to be worshipped like God there, like he was in Wales 2 years ago.
Also, when he said he's the only champ from the UK, I'm like, what about Sheamus?
Well, Republic of Ireland's not in the UK, Regan.
Yeah.
Which part of Ireland is he from?
He's from Dublin, Ireland, which is in the Republic of Ireland. It's not in the UK.
Okay. I didn't realize where he was from, but I just heard it and I was like, what about Sheamus?
No. Finley's from the UK because he's from Belfast, which is Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
two different countries.
Yeah, they're two different
I know
countries.
they're two different countries. I just didn't realize which part he was from.
Yeah, they're two different countries, and it's all because Catholics and Protestants don't get along. It's a bit like how India and Pakistan are two different countries because Hindus and Muslims don't get along.
Yeah, Northern Ireland is part of the UK in the northeast of the island of Ireland.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
described as a country.
The island of Ireland.
The Ireland.
Yeah. As well as the Isle of Man, which is one of the funniest flags in the world. It's like 3 legs combined together on a red background.
Yeah, they have 2 different flags.
Yep. Rightio, the main event for the undisputed title, we had Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. I have to say, in the video package, in the promo, Cody did not go easy on this guy.
No.
He definitely was very much protecting the business, being like, you are an outsider, you don't belong here with me, my family has been part of this legacy for all this time, and you just walked in. And it's like he's protecting wrestling from Logan Paul, which is fascinating. It's not really...
They gave him his dues as well, though.
Yeah, he did, but it's not like a traditional babyface dynamic. This was actually, Cody Rhodes has an edge to him, which makes him interesting. And part of it's also kind of justified as well, because Paul is just such a talented athlete that to the point where he's able to just kind of cheat the system and hack his way to the top.
Yeah, that makes him... that must piss some people off, but he's so good, you can't...
He's undeniable, though. Like, as an athlete, he's undeniable.
You can not like him, but he wouldn't be where he is if Triple H thought he was shit, so...
He's not shit. Logan Paul is...
No. God, he's so good. He's just
admittedly, he's a part-timer, so he doesn't have to do the grind, and that does affect a lot of talent. But in terms of as a part-time wrestler, he gives the goods.
But he could come in and have
also
crap matches and then just leave.
And from a business perspective, he's bringing a lot of money into the company, and that's going into the pockets of the talent. So, for that reason, they should be grateful that the house is bigger with him on it.
Yeah, I mean, people that not watch wrestling but always watched him might have started I guarantee they've started watching it because of him.
That's right. Something I loved about this is they set up that Michael Cole had the brass knuckles and that Logan Paul wasn't going to use them, and then eventually he did use them anyway.
Yeah, Jeff gave him his brass knuckles.
That's right. So, anyway...
That must have bloody hurt when he jumped off the stairs and got smacked in the stomach.
Yep. Anyway, so Regan, what were your thoughts on Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes?
I thought it was the best match on the show.
Yeah, I mean, Cody usually aims to be the best match on the show most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, both of them, obviously. I mean, I've always liked Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. What a match. I mean, the stuff that he can do.
I thought this match was very creative.
Yes.
They did a lot of really creative and unique things.
That drone shot, and then jumping through the table.
Yeah, I think
the drone shot was Logan's idea.
In contrast to the match that came before it, they were very different, but they were both great in their own way. Because the Gunther Orton match was very old school, whereas this was very creative and more sort of modern, and I think that was nice to have both those styles represented on one show.
I thought it was good, very good match.
Very exciting. I mean, the crowd is always hot when it's Cody. He's a massive star.
I'm assuming Logan was only in that match because the crowd, the people paying for it must have wanted him there.
Possibly. I mean, he
did a good match, so...
In 2022...
I need to watch his one with Roman. I have not seen that.
That's what I was going to say. Crown Jewel 2022, he main evented against Roman Reigns for the title.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, that's another... That was, I think we already kind of knew with the Miz match that Logan Paul was a really good athlete, but when we got the Roman Reigns match, we were like, holy shit, this guy can hang in the main event. Like, with the big stars.
The big dog.
The big dog.
Big dog.
But yeah, no, I agree. This was awesome. At this point, I expect Logan Paul to have great matches because he's got such a great track record. And yeah, as always, presentation for these main events is awesome. Like with the lighting, the 8K cameras, and with Samantha Evans announcing. Although I think on this show it wasn't her. It was Mike Rome, and then they had the special guest Saudi commentator. do the
I
announcing.
guess it was Mike Rome because they couldn't have a woman do it.
Well, they could, but they chose not to.
Thank God it wasn't that new lady from SmackDown.
What, Alicia Taylor?
Oh, she's got a horrible voice.
Maybe you'll get used to her eventually.
I've not heard it.
So raspy.
Hmm.
But,
I remember-
Alex will hate me for saying this, but God, I loved Logan's attire. His green jacket that he had.
Oh, yeah, because you like...
He normally wears yellow.
Don't clip that and send it to Alex. He'll bloody roast me.
Yeah, we always give you shit because you're obsessed with green. I never forget WrestleMania 28 when Cena came out with the green shirt. You were in love. The C Nation shirt.
That was peak us watching wrestling.
When he lost to Dwayne and sat on the ramp.
Wayne.
But
Dwayne.
wasn't that when it cut out and we had to read the ending?
Yeah, I had to read the ending. It was so sad because My Sky didn't record the whole pay-per-view. I should have.
Luke would just...
If I had known that, I would have hit the record button on the next slot after, but I just... Oh well. 2 years after that, the network was a thing and I didn't have to worry about pay-per-view anymore. Thank God for that.
I thought it was a great match.
Cody vs. Logan Paul. Yeah, the crowd was hot. The action was great. It was creative. And
the crowd loved it when the announcer stopped Logan.
Something that I really like about Cody Rhodes and why I think he's the perfect face of like this generation of wrestling is that he strikes the right balance between all the different things that you need, because his matches are creative in an engaging way that is catered towards the modern wrestling audience, but he's not excessive to the point where it oversaturates the product. He is able to still maintain a level of psychology and preservation to the point where you still have reasons to invest in the character, care about what the story is, and still tell different stories with each match. And that's what I think makes him the right guy to have as your champion. I find it interesting that social media for some reason has decided that Cody's title reign is a flop when clearly it's not.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Like, so I guess some of the stuff they've done on TV hasn't been like incredible or anything, but both the pay-per-view matches he's had so far with Styles and Logan Paul have been massively successful. And also, we're just getting started. Like, there's still lots of time.
I mean, what? He only won the belt
2 months ago.
3 months ago.
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and he's had two really good matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I really didn't like was probably that segment.
The best angle has just happened with the Styles.
That's true.
Retirement.
That's true. The only thing I haven't liked was probably
he came out without the title on SmackDown.
Did he?
Yeah, he didn't bring it up, but I think that was more. I understand why, in the sense of like in kayfabe, he's letting it be Styles' moment because he believes he's retiring.
Yeah, whereas that
and then people were whinging, saying, "This is your champion. Like he has to win via a distraction, like when Logan's leg got pulled."
Whereas
that really?
That no good hot dog John Cena when Mark Henry did his retirement had to bring the belt out with him.
Like, how are people going to complain that he won via Logan getting distracted when Roman always had Solo?
People will find a way to complain about anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just silly.
That is a fact.
Hang on, Roman always had Solo.
That is a fact of life. Yeah. But with that said, yeah, I mean, the only Cody segment that I haven't liked so far was probably that weird one with The Rock where they held each other's belts. That was the only thing where I was like, that's so odd.
That was very weird and seemed very forced.
Yeah, and I suspect that was probably a Dwayne idea, to be honest. Or maybe
it was like something in the playground, like, "Oh, I like your toy. Can I hold it? And you can have mine."
It was like Barney Crouch and Goblet of Fire. He's like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah.
Hey, father.
Yeah. Oh, I think one of the things I loved the most was that Logan Paul did the table spot, threw him back in, then did the big frog splash. Cody kicked out, and the shocked face 2 count is a trope in wrestling that has been overdone. But I think when a talent can find a way to make it feel unique, it adds something and it justifies it. I think the way Paul reacts had a more like psychotic edge to it that is different to the very
2 moves like that.
Yeah, it was very different to the sort of more telegraphed thing you get from a lot of other 2 count shocked face emoji things you get.
Definitely.
Especially because in other cases you'll get moves that everyone kicks out of every match and they're still shocked. Like fucking, I remember when Matt Hardy used to do the shock face when people kicked out of the side effect. It's like, you've never fucking pinned anyone with that move. Why are you surprised?
Yeah. Well, I thought this match was pretty good.
Yeah. And
just nice to see how improved the camera work has been in the last couple months.
Kellum, were you how did you feel about the fact that Cody's brought back the triple crossroads this soon?
I'm just stop it.
Funny because he didn't need it for AJ Styles, so
he didn't need it.
Like
he didn't need it for
rest it for a while.
He didn't need it for old man Allen.
He stopped it last month and that was great, and now he's brought it back again. And it's just why.
Protect your finisher,
It's one of my
man.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is
literally
like the finish is the finish, but multiple times, and that is the finish.
If in the last year and a half he'd only done it to Roman Reigns in the 2 matches that they had,
great, but he did it against Brock every fucking time.
Yeah, and then maybe the SummerSlam Brock match, maybe that one as well.
But he did it every match.
Yeah.
Every big match he did it in.
I don't think he had to do it with Dom Mysterio.
Did he do it with Dom as well? Yeah, he did.
Did he? I can't remember.
I can't remember. He did. I can't remember. He might have.
It's just unnecessary.
He did it so often. It was insane.
Yeah.
I hate it. You know when it does work is Cena versus Styles 2017 Royal Rumble, when Cena hit 2 AAs back to back. That's when it works.
Yeah.
He didn't do it in every other fucking match.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's when it works.
Well, I mean, you say that, but then also you've now just reminded me that Jinder Mahal pinned Baron Corbin. Oh no, yeah, Jinder Mahal pinned Baron Corbin after being hit with a super AA, which was just. Remember when the Money in the Bank cash in?
Super AA?
Yeah, it was.
No, wasn't it? He just distracted him and he got rolled up. He did it to Corbin, and that's why he lost.
No, so Cena had a match. Cena had a match with Jinder Mahal on SmackDown. Jinder got hit with the Super AA. Baron Corbin ran into the ring, caused a disqualification, cashed in Money in the Bank. Jinder Mahal rolled up Baron Corbin after a distraction.
Because Cena distracted him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, I know they had a match and got DQ'd.
But Baron Corbin got rolled up by someone who just got hit with a Super AA. Like a minute before.
Mm-hmm.
How embarrassing. Anyway, so yeah, with that said, overall thoughts on King and Queen of the Ring. And Regan, are you happy you're champion now?
Yes, I am champion. Very good.
You're gonna be going into Glasgow as champion.
Oh lordy.
That show is gonna be white hot, that crowd. Holy shit.
It's gonna be put the Yanks to shame again. No, very good pay-per-view. I've been back since the Rumble, and I think they've all been good since I've started getting back into it. I'm glad the Chamber came here, otherwise I never would have got back into it. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a blessing for you. I mean, I think they've been on. Triple H has, for the most part, been on a run of very consistent pay-per-views over his tenure as Booker, and I think that it's great to see.
Good. Get new people in.
Yeah, and obviously with Lee fitting in production, it just the whole show just looks so cool now.
Bring back old fans.
Yep, and also introduce new fans, which it is definitely doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend from work, he's like 19 years old, and he says like he never really watched wrestling as a kid, but he like always sees WWE on TikTok and he's interested in it. So there you go. Their presence is there.
That probably helps bring new people in as well.
For sure. The social media stuff has been really well done. Yeah, Callum, your final thoughts on King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, super good show. Lot of really good matches. My favorite was Gunther Randy. I love that match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a really, really solid show. No big consequences, really, but just a really solid show.
But the one I'm really looking forward to is the next one, is Clash at the Castle in Glasgow. That is going to be one to watch, especially because I mean the reason why we say that is because the first Clash at the Castle was like an all-timer of a pay-per-view. That was an amazing show. When they did Drew versus Roman and they did Gunther versus Sheamus. And there was also a bunch of other really fun matches with the hot crowd on that card. And that Millennium Stadium in Wales was awesome. So hopefully Glasgow. I mean, I think this one is going to be in an arena, so it's not going to be as big in terms of its size. But the closed roof Scots reaction should be very loud. Yeah. I cannot wait to see the pop in McIntyre's entrance. Do you think we'll get Broken Dreams again, like we did at the last Clash at the Castle?
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, I wonder if they'd give it like the full entrance as well, not just the start. Who knows? They probably want to do the new entrance because that has like the whole sword thing in it with the pyro.
Yeah.
I think Drew has said like the reason why Broken Dreams might not be the best to have as a full entrance is because it doesn't suit the way he walks to the ring these days. It's quite a slow.
Everyone loves nostalgia.
It's quite a slow, melancholic song, whereas his new song is a lot more energized. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what CM Punk does on that show, because the banter between those two has been one of the best things about this year in wrestling. It's been consistently entertaining. Yeah, and also Callum and I will see we'll be on this channel for the review of AEW Double or Nothing at some point, probably this week. I don't know when. We'll sort it out. And that should be fun to talk about as well. And we'll definitely need to do it on a separate day because that pay-per-view was very, very, very long.
And I haven't seen it yet because I've been very busy.
Yep. The pre-show was an hour and the main show was 4.5 hours. It was a fucking long show. Anyway, I bid you adieu, a good night, and a good bye.